Thank you. Hi, I'm Blair, and I'm from Karana. We're recreating iconic Asian products to be still great tasting, but also healthy, plant-based, and sustainable. And we're doing this because of three major trends in Asia Pacific. First is the insatiable demand for meat and seafood in the region. Ooh, sorry. And this is a region that is already the world's largest consumer of meat. Secondly, consumers in the region are increasingly affected by dietary-related health issues, such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and obesity. And as a result, they're looking for healthier options. And finally, consumers in the region are really concerned about where their food is coming from, and is it safe? Is the supply chain transparent? Now, of course, they're not willing to give up on taste and experience in order to solve some of these problems. So our solution, is this going forward? Yes, sorry. Our solution is to create the Asian whole plant-based food brand of the future. Sorry, I don't know why these are skipping ahead.
You're the one on the right there. There we are.
Okay. And what we're looking to do is turn to what we see as the world's greatest technology. That is Mother Nature. Currently, we only consume about 150 out of 30,000 edible plant species. Now, that means there's this huge opportunity to go and explore what's in biodiversity and innovate around that. And so what we're looking to do is find those ingredients that are naturally meat-like and then enhance them with technology and improve them. So whilst at the core of our ingredient we have whole plant ingredients, we're not scared of using technology to improve them. We have a number of research partnerships in place, looking at how we can leverage biotechnology and cell-based meat to improve these ingredients. Now, of course, we're not going to get there overnight. So what we've been doing so far is we've built a supply chain of organic young jackfruit, which is the first product we're working with. We also have a pipeline of lots of other really interesting ingredients. This isn't an easy task because while it is an abundantly available ingredient, the supply chains are very fragmented. But as many of you may know, I'm sure many of you have tasted jackfruit. It can be a great ingredient, but as a vegan, often I get excited because it looks like meat, but it isn't actually meaty. When you eat it, it doesn't quite have the right mouthfeel or the texture. But we know jackfruit can be improved, and it can be amazing. So what we're working on right now is using proprietary processing methods to improve that texture and taste of jackfruit, and to create a product that is easy to use and can just be put in the pan and cooked like meat. And then use that as a base ingredient into ready-to-eat iconic Asian products, starting with dumplings and baos. In the future, we're looking at how we can further enhance these ingredients and leverage those biotech research partnerships that we have to create whole new categories of products, such as blended cell-based and plant-based ingredients. So to start with, we're going to market in food service. And restaurants are really excited about our products because it gives them something that is whole plant and minimally processed. And we've already built some great relationships with our beta product. And this is really important for us because it also allows us to build our brand, educate consumers, but most importantly, get great feedback from our restaurant partners in terms of how we can improve our product, and feed that into our product development for our next generation products. So the team is led by myself and my co-founder, Dan. Dan has a background in agri-commodity supply chains in Asia Pacific, based out of Cambodia and working across the region. He then came to Columbia Business School here in the US and worked in the insect protein space. He quickly realized that the amount of capital needed to scale that industry was better spent on plant-based and cell-based meats, and so he founded Karana. Myself, I started my career in banking. I'm from Hong Kong and call Asia home. I then came to the US and went to business school at Tuck, and after that, fully immersed myself in the plant-based industry, with stints at Impossible Foods, New Age Meats, and working with the Good Food Institute. We're both driven by a passion for sustainability and great food, and we've built a top team of advisors to help us achieve our mission, as well as some really great research partnerships. Currently, we're raising $1.5 million for our seed round, of which about half of it is committed. So we're Karana, we're natural meats innovation, and we're recreating iconic Asian products to be healthy, plant-based, and sustainable.
Very good. Let's hear it for Karana. I want to thank you for your honesty about jackfruit. How many people here in the room have had a jackfruit meat substitute, and everyone at the table kind of didn't want to admit that it kind of sucked? It's not always very good. And you are aware that this has a texture challenge in many cases. You want to push that forward. What is it about jackfruit that is worth all this investment and time to take it to the next level by your company?
So there's a number of things. First, it is a very sustainable ingredient.
Okay.
It's high yielding, it's climate resistant. It is also an ingredient that is very biodiverse. It's grown intercropped. And also, it's an ingredient that is currently wasted. Most of the supply chain is wasted. So it's also a chance to reduce food waste.
And then going forward, you go beyond just that one ingredient and you start to diversify more.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, there's this huge untapped resource out there. And we've already explored a number of ingredients in our research pipeline, and we'll be looking to bring them on board. But initially, we're focused on jackfruit.
Let me ask you about this area of meat demand, especially you're talking about, you referenced some of the Asian markets, for example, where you have a lot of roots and a lot of understanding and experience. We've heard repeatedly already this morning about how developing markets will see meat differently and be a little, perhaps less open to replacing it because it's a sign of success, of arriving, of social status. Yep. What's your take on that with your understanding of different global markets?
Yeah, so that is a very fair point, and that is what is driving a lot of that 78% growth in meat and seafood demand that I had on my earlier slide. But as well, consumers in the region are increasingly concerned about their health. Look at China now, it's the world's biggest wellness market. And as a result, a lot of the wealthier urban middle class are looking to actually change their diet now because they've already achieved that wealth. They don't need to keep on eating meat to show they're wealthy. They're now starting to think about how they look after their bodies.
And social change, and certainly social norm change, really happens fast in that culture. I mean, there's an appetite for new, innovative social mores, it seems like, or at least around food and some other technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Nice presentation. Okay.